2021, open and closed session.
Second.
Mrs. Moyer?
Aye.
Mr. Lightfoot?
Aye.
Mrs. Kroner?
Aye.
Mr. Baumann?
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson?
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle?
Aye.
Ms. Morgan?
Aye. Motion passes 7-0. Item 4.1.
Well, good evening, Board. As I thought about this evening, I found myself reflecting back on the past 4 years. We've done some very good work together, and this board has dealt with the toughest issues in education that a Board of Education could deal with. As Matt mentioned the other day, we redrew the boundaries. We had to make very important budget decisions to mitigate a deficit. We conducted 2 referendums. We worked on the idea of a countywide sales tax, and we are currently still working through a global pandemic. And to deal with all the complexities that the 7th largest school district in the state deals with on a daily, weekly, and annual basis, you've done a wonderful job. With all this going on, you've maintained your focus on our student mission of educating students to reach their highest potential. Most people don't know, or most people don't realize the amount of time these volunteer board members put in. They spend hours and hours going through reports. They attend school district functions. They attend school building functions. They attend 2 board advisory committee meetings a month and 2 board meetings a month. And as Mrs. Doyle just said, that takes a tremendous amount of time and time away from their families. So thank you for everything that you've done for the past 4 and 8 years. Heather, when we walked out of the building the other day, we were walking out last Monday night and we talked about how fast time goes by, and you talked about how your little ones were so small and the little ones aren't so little anymore. And the old adage, the older we get, the faster time seems to go by, is so very true. And I want to thank you for your service to School District 308. It's been an honor working with you and getting to know you over the past 4 years. So thank you. Tony, I've known you for 9 years now, going back to the days when you were a teacher here in SD308. Being a teacher yourself, you brought that lens to our discussion, and I want you to know that you added tremendous value to the conversations that happened at this table. And I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you better over the past 4 years, and I wish you the best in your next adventures.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Brent, I've known you for 9 years now, and it goes back to the day I interviewed with the Board of Education 9 years ago. You sat on the board that hired me initially into the school district. You served 2 terms here as a board member, and your experience and your passion and your dedication for school finance has been invaluable for the discussions that we've had over the past 4 years in regards to mitigating our deficit. It's been an honor and pleasure to get to know you and your family over the past 9 years, and I thank you for your service to School District 308 as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Matt, I've known you for 8 years, and you've served 2 consecutive terms on the Board of Education. You were president when I was chosen to be the next superintendent of 308. You and I had the opportunity to have a lot of discussions. We spent a lot of time together. We talked about education and how we were going to work together for the betterment of our students here in District 308. And I want to thank you for those conversations and your leadership. Because I was a brand new superintendent. I hadn't done this job before, and those conversations were very much appreciated. I've enjoyed getting to know you over the last 8 years and your family, and thank you for everything that you've done for 308. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a big round of applause for our outgoing board members?
We don't get a golden key to the district as we do.
Yes, it's in the mail. Okay. So that brings us to 5.1. We've got a few people that have a few words to say, I think.
We do.
All right. I can read this. Yep.
Yes.
I will call up Eugene Gatewood. Jennifer Johnson. Facing which way? We didn't practice.
Well, do you want to face the cameras or do you not care?
Why don't we have you face the cameras? That would be great.
Yeah, that's good. That's why you keep me around.
Fine. All right, Donna Marino. And Latanya Simulton. All right, I'm going to give you a moment to get your books out. If you could please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm. That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the offices of member of the Board of Education
Of the Oswego Community Unit School District number 308.
of the Oswego Community Unit School District number 308
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further affirm that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I further affirm that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board, while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a school board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a school board meeting.
I shall recognize that a school board member has no legal authority as an individual, and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a school board meeting.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the school board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by majority decisions of the school board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality of education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality of education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Oswego Community Unit School District 308.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Oswego Community Unit School District 308.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall strive to ensure continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students in our community school or schools to advance the vision for Oswego Community Unit School District 308
shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools or source schools to advance the vision for Oswego Community Unit School District 308.
And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
And I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
You did it!
We looked it up on Google.
We feel that Google may have led us astray.
Either one will work.
Yeah, usually.
I don't know how that could have happened. But there's a little bit of dissent into how to say the next phrase, because Google gives us
Maureen
one
told me.
explanation and our attorney gives us yet another.
Let's go with that one.
We're going to go with our board.
Google if you want to.
I'm going to trust you over Google. So take that responsibility with great seriousness.
I would say, make a motion to adjourn sine die.
And Google would say sine die. So there you go. We will, if I could please have a motion to adjourn in the sine die or sine die of your choice.
I make a motion to adjourn sine die.
Second. Oh, you were on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned sine die. So now, where do we go?
Carpe diem.
Sir? Do you make me sign it? Yeah. Ursula brought a silver Sharpie. Tony, you want to take? She's gone. Nobody else needs Yes.
Appreciate you saying that. Thanks very much.
Good luck in your.
All your knowledge.
Let me get out of this picture.
You got my number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations on completing it first. Your term of service. Very much
I think we asked it every time.
Thank you.
So have fun. He's having it signed.
It's a great idea, Matt.
You're signing his name's plate. That's cool.
Yeah, well, that is cool.
Should have thought about that.
Well, there's a couple cheers. Yeah.
Take care, Brad. Goodbye. I already forgot how to pronounce that thing. Is this yours? Did Tony leave already?
Tony, it's all what we need to do.
They should just sit anywhere.
Board members, newly sworn in, if you could, please pick a chair, any chair, because we're going to play Rearrange the Chairs. Thank you. I worked really hard on that for about 30 seconds.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought about that. And you missed a really good joke, but that's okay. It's all good. They're going to have a good time.
That was the last one.
That was your last one, unless
Okay.
it's gonna be.
Okay, so now,
We could have music and make it musical chairs. However, there's one for every person.
This is for the new president.
I'm just talking.
right, everybody got.
How are you?
To start, okay.
Ursula, may I have a roll call vote of the newly established Board of Education?
Mrs. Doyle,
Present?
Mr. Gatewood,
Present.
Mrs. Johnson,
Present.
Mrs. Croner,
Present.
Dr. Marino,
Present.
Mrs. Simulton,
Present.
Mrs. Swanson.
Present, Brent has left his mark.
This one's new. All right, where are we at? I recommend to appoint Superintendent of Schools, Dr. John Sparlin, as President pro tempore to preside over the election of the Board of Education President. Can I have a motion, please? Or actually, I make the motion.
You did.
Yes, I just did it. Awesome. Oh, sorry. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Doyle. Nominations are now in order for the office of president. Any member of the board may nominate any member of the board, including themselves, and nominations do not require a second. Nominations are now open for the office of president of the Board of Education.
I nominate Dr. Donna Marino for president.
Dr. Donna Marino is nominated. Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Are there any other nominations for the office of president? Are there any other nominations for the office of president? If there are no further nominations, the nominations for president are now closed. Dr. Marino, being the only candidate nominated for the office of president, the chair hereby declares you elected by acclamation, and I ask that Ursula record that into the minutes. Congratulations, President Dr. Donna Marino.
Thank you.
You're gonna stay.
Oops.
All right.
I told you.
I'm fogging up my reading glasses now, so bear with. Right now, we're going to take nominations, are now in order for the office of Vice President. Are there any nominations for Vice President?
I'll nominate Ruth Croner.
Ruth Croner is nominated for Vice President. I would like to nominate LaTanya Simulton. LaTanya Simulton is nominated for Vice President. Are there any nominations for Vice President? One more time. Are there any other nominations for Vice President? Okay. If there are no further nominations, the nominations for the office of Vice President are closed. Since we have more than one member who has been nominated for the office of Vice President, I am going to ask you to vote by a show of hands for either Ruth Kroner or LaTanya Simulton. You may only vote for one member, and to be declared Vice President, one member must receive at least 4 votes. Board members who wish to appoint Ruth Kroner for Vice President, please raise your hand. We have 3 votes for Ruth Kroner. Board members who wish to appoint LaTanya Simulton for Vice President, please raise your hand. And we have 4 votes for LaTanya Simulton. Congratulations, LaTanya Simulton, for receiving the majority of votes, and you are now elected the position of Vice President.
Swap seats.
You get to swap seats.
Jan?
I moved on, yeah.
I told you we would
Like rearrange the chairs.
I've never been on this side of the table. It's super fun.
I don't have my cord today, nobody will try.
Nominations are now in order for office of secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary?
I'll nominate Ruth Kroner, who does a fantastic job right now.
Are there any other nominations for secretary? Are there any nominations for secretary? And then I said, if there are no further nominations, the nominations for the office of secretary are closed. Congratulations, Ruth Kroner, you are now secretary.
Y'all look very excited.
Okay. 9.4, the Board of Education will establish regular board meeting dates, time, and place. Can I have a motion to establish the board meeting dates, time, and place?
I make a motion to establish a regular Board of Education meeting dates and times for the 2021-22 as discussed and presented.
Second.
Mrs. Kroner,
Aye.
Mrs. Johnson,
Aye.
Dr. Marino,
Aye.
Mr. Gatewood,
Aye.
Mrs. Swanson,
Aye.
Mrs. Doyle,
Aye.
Mrs. Simulton. Aye.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Now we will hear public comment.
I do not know.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to thank the public for attending tonight's meeting. We value the feedback we receive from our residents and encourage everyone to take an active interest in their public school system. Residents interested in speaking to the board this evening are asked to have completed a comment card and presented it to the secretary to the board. When the secretary calls your name, I ask that you come to the microphone, state your name for the public record, and provide your feedback. Please note that comments are limited to 5 minutes per person, and that no discussion of personnel matters or responses to questions are permitted. The board does not participate in discussion during public comment. Follow-up to your questions or concerns will be addressed by administration through the contact information provided on the comment card. Thank you.
Jared Ploger.
Thank you, Board. I came up here unscripted, so that should probably worry everybody, but Jared Ploger, 2776 La Jolla Court, Aurora. I thought somebody from the general public should say thank you to the outgoing board. Thank you, board members. Heather and Matt, I see that you stuck around, and I think that's apropos. Heather, I can't thank you enough for what you've done up there. You've just been a wonderful person, a wonderful board member, and appreciate everything that you've done. I appreciate your ear and everything. And Matt, I remember the first time that you ran, and being a citizen who really tried to understand what was going on with my sons and their education. I knew right away that you were someone I supported. And we didn't always agree, but I always appreciated you up there. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And now we're here on a historic night, and we need to move forward. And I think the message that I wanted to bring tonight from I'm hoping a very large segment of the community is this is brand new, and we're going to move forward. We need to build on this. This is such a positive and celebratory evening. I can't hardly contain myself between my emotions with those that I'm connected with and just seeing this. This is just such a positive thing, and we certainly need to move forward better than we're moving forward with Wolf Road. Don't get me started on that. That's my poor attempt at humor. I want to remind us that we are all here to support, and we want to see our Board of Education succeed. What's the alternative, right? I mean, the alternative, right, is that our most prized possession, our greatest resource here, does poorly, and that's not what anyone wants to see, right? And we want to see all of our students succeed. And that's what I think tonight's about, right? Is that promise to see all of our students succeed. And I can't hardly contain myself with the excitement, and this is a historic evening for the communities involved in our school district, and I'm excited, and I wanted to say thank you to the new board members, because you voted, you ran, you engaged with the community, and you showed a commitment. And unfortunately, that's not something that the majority of us always do. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for getting involved. And appreciate everything that's being done here tonight. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this transition. I'm excited for the community, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kiwana Boris.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name is Kiwana Boris. I reside at 2529 Lambert Drive in Aurora, Illinois. I sit before you representing two organizations, twofold. One is Parents for Education and Global Success, which is a recognized organization by District 308. And the second organization is NAACP of DuPage County. We represent, oversee Kendall, Will, Kane, and Northwest Cook. Want to thank the outgoing members, Tony, Brent, and Matt, for your hours of service and dedication. But I'm here to celebrate with our district. I want you to know that the NAACP of DuPage County would like this opportunity to recognize the historical event of the election of 2 African-American candidates, LaTanya Simelton, Eugene Gatewood, along with a woman of Jewish descent, and Jen Johnson, who when we interviewed you, you said you were open-minded and willing to grow and learn. We celebrate you. The constituents of Oswego voted with their ballots for educational equity and diversity representation. When we look at our current board, it represents our community, but we have more work to do. We have good work to do, good trouble. We believe that this school board, for the next 4 years, will be solution-oriented, bridge builders, engage in courageous conversations, implement strategy with action that focuses on our children with accountability to ensure that District 308 is a place where all students can thrive. We will hold you accountable, and we look forward to partnering with you. Thank you.
.1, a motion to adjourn.
I make a
Second.
motion to adjourn.
Second. We are adjourned.